he is called ashore. So let's see whether that can freshen things up somewhat. We're watching Barry Foley trying to make some inroads there against Tom Feeney. Chopped down, and it's going to be a free in. And Gary Foley, or Gary Kirby rather, will now take over the free-taking duties. Brendan Landers, they're calling out the instructions, making sure that Gary doesn't get a simple chance of perhaps getting in for a goal. He's happy with the point. Gary Kirby on the pitch only about a minute, and already he's got himself a point from a free. So now, as you were at half-time, with 5 points between the teams. Nicely backed by Barry Foley. This is Stephen Frampton, missing his first touch there, and Shane O'Neill can't keep the ball in play, and it's going to be a sideline ball down there for Limerick. Linesman down there is Johnny MacDonald, of course, of Tipperary. Eamon Cregan alongside him. This will be taken by Jack Foley. Again, a very poor touch here, and you have to blame the pitch. There's no two ways about it. It's just not playing well. Gary Kirby trying to get that ball in. They're all trying to get in there. So too is Tom Feeney, and it builds up and gets a little angry. And the referee, Pat Horn, one of the best in the business, is in down there to diffuse matters straight away. That's number 2, Tom Feeney from Ballyduff. The referee calling aside there Shane O'Neill. Shane gets the lecturing. And that's going to be a card for Limerick's Shane O'Neill. It's a yellow card. So the players booked in this match so far are Brian Green, Dan Shanahan and Shane O'Neill. This is what happened here that led to that particular booking. The referee had a right good view of it, knew exactly what action he had to take, and took that action. It's going to be a free to Waterford, and Stephen Frampton will take it. Stephen now playing today in his 18th championship match. That's a huge one down towards Paul Flynn. Breaks away from his hands, however. Comes back out here to Barry Foley. Shane O'Neill under this dropping ball. Bounces down there. Stephen Frampton leaving it for Brian Green. On by Ken McGrath. Inside towards Dave Bennett. Picked up nicely here by Billy O'Sullivan. The hand pass outside. Ken McGrath just manages to get control of it. That's Brian Begley losing it, trying to regain it. Again, it's Paul Flynn, the goal scorer in the first half. Getting by Brian Geary, nice clever play, and that's a lovely point. That's now a goal and 5 points, credited to Paul Flynn. Every so often in championship seasons he threatens to do something really impressive and really magical. And this was a lovely bit of skill here, outfoxing Brian Geary, lobbing it in over his head, and then taking it away in his stride and striking it off his left-hand side. Tony Brown battling in there. Gary Kirby's trying to get it forward. That's Billy O'Sullivan towards Dave Bennett, the man at top of the left, runs on again towards Paul Flynn. Now he's causing real problems for Brian Begley. Shooting from some distance out. It was a good 50 metres out when he hit that one. And that's now 4 wides for Waterford. And we've got some more team news now as we go down to the sideline and to Kieran Malooly.
Gerald McCarthy has decided to take Dave Bennett out of the Waterford side, and Anthony Curran will be going on.
Well, I've noticed that T.J. Ryan, as you were speaking there, has just come into the action. And as we just heard there, Anthony Curran has come on for Waterford. Shane O'Neill has gone off the Limerick team. So Anthony Curran makes his way on. Dave Bennett has been taken off the Waterford team. Scored a point in the first half, Dave. So Anthony Kerwin, who played a major part in last year's championship matches for Waterford, gets his chance. Still a long way to go in this game. Stephen Frampton fouled. That was James Moran there having a look at the referee. Fergal Hartley, the number 8 on the ground here. Well, confirmation that TJ Ryan has come in here. You may remember that in 1996 he came on as a sub as well in the match against Cork and really made a big impression that day. It'll be TJ's 16th time to play in the championship. This is the foul here again. A little push from behind by James Moran. So the medical people have done their job well. Everybody fit to continue. Stephen Frampton. Ken McGrath coming across here. Broken out, however, from him by Ollie Moran. Here's Kieran Carey. Billy O'Sullivan chases after him. 2 more as well, and finally he goes to ground. Fairly unceremoniously, Brian Green will have to be very careful. He's already been booked in the match. And the referee speaking to him, and they plead on his behalf. Fergal Hartley realising that they could be in real danger here. Brian Green has already got a yellow, he's got a second, and Waterford are down to 14 men. Sent off in the 15th minute, really, of the second half. This is a real body blow now to Waterford, to lose their influential left-half back. But he had to be aware that he'd been booked earlier on, and one more silly foul and he was going to go. Gary Kirby takes the free. And he makes Waterford pay for that indiscretion. That's a second point now for Gary Kirby. So now it gets more and more interesting. 1-11 now to 9 points. And if that goal chance of Mike Galligan had got in, who knows, this is what happened here. Fergal Hartley has now gone back to left half back. He's over there in the white helmet. Tony Brown looking around to see who's moving for him. Peter Quilly was making an option. It's Jack Foley instead, blocked down well there by Paul Flynn. Comes back here to Brian Geary. Micheál White. Dave Clark's after him. That's White. And that is over the bar. Micheál White gets his second point of the match. And delighted Waterford fans down there at the Black Rock end of Páirc Uí Chaoimh. It's 1-12 to 9 points. Joe Quaid pucking it out quickly. 16 minutes into the second half. Tony Brown takes it up. There were players moving right and left of him. Now it's Fergal Hartley running into Clem Smith. Hartley once again, the little hand pass through towards Billy O'Sullivan. Breaks down, however. This is Dan Shanahan. Chasing after him there is Ollie Moran, the team captain of Limerick. Nicely back once again towards Fergal Hartley. And it's into space to Paul Flynn, and here's another chance, and Flynn puts it over the bar. Terrific player. A goal and 6 points now for Paul Flynn. Well, it was a wonderful pass to make it all possible for Paul Flynn to make it 113 to 9 points. And now it's Limerick with the 15 players who need a bit of inspiration from somewhere. There's a great catch there from Peter Quilly. Ollie Moran turning it back in the direction of the Waterford backs once again. Stephen Frampton, the centre half back, almost running into trouble. Tripping Mike Houlihan, it seemed. Houlihan stays back on his feet again. And that, in the end, is James Moran who taps it over. That's a second for James Moran. This was where Mike Houlihan was tripped, got back on the feet fairly quickly, fed it outside there to James Moran. And just looking at the Limerick team right now, Kieran Carey is the extra man, as it were. Doesn't have anybody to pick up immediately. And he's playing around almost an extra centre-half back. Here he is challenging. Micheál White steps away from danger. It's a beautiful ball into Paul Flynn, and that's a great score. 1-7 now for Paul Flynn, turning on a real exhibition here. He's doing the running, he's getting in behind the full back. They're picking him out with precision passes. Micheál White on this occasion, that was a beauty. And Flynn took it in his stride and struck it sweetly between the posts. They get it back again. Kerwin setting up this latest chance. Taking it back once again, Anthony Kerwin. Dave Clark unable to beat him to it. This is wonderful play. Well, that in the end is Stephen McDonagh, who is fouled. And just when you look around, you say that paradoxically, the loss of a man for Waterford seems to have inspired them, and they're almost playing like they've got the extra man. And a very disappointed Brian Green there. It may have been a bit harsh, that second yellow card, but he's off, and Waterford are down to 14. And again, it's Tony Brown back there. Has options. Tom Feeney. Great clearance by Feeney. Down towards Billy O'Sullivan. Picked up by Jack Foley. Sweeping it in once again towards his brother Mark. Stalemate situation. Barry Foley after it. Mark Foley after it. This is Mark. And Mark Foley has turned it outside and wide. It's just the second wide of the second half by Limerick, but it's 8 in all, and they've been very, very costly. But really, they had the chances in the first half. They had loads of scoring opportunities, but they struck 6 wides during the opening period. So Waterford with a handy lead and 15 minutes to play. Dan Shanahan breaks it down. Jack Foley's after it. Peter Quealy there as well, as if life and death depended upon it. Barry Foley, the last one to pick himself off the ground. And still Gerald McCarthy trying to keep his players on their toes. A huge season for them to try and build on the relative success of last year. League finalists, Munster finalists, All-Ireland semi-finalists, and Eamon Cregan with time running out for his team. Tony Brown to take the sideline cut. That's a much better one down towards Micheál White, but this time it's taken by Brian Geary. Geary playing in his very first championship match. Inside towards Kieran Carey, the extra man as it were, challenged by Ken McGrath, goes to Dave Clark. It's a big one in towards Mike Houlihan against Sean Cullinay, runs it into the goal. The goal counts, and Mike Houlihan has been given that glorious chance to put Limerick right back into the action. 22 minutes into the second half. Now, did he carry it into the goal completely, or did he manage to tap it in? Well, he got it with his boot eventually. The goal is valid. He made the contact outside the goal line. Limerick are right back in the hunt. 4 points between the teams. Barry Foley coming in again, blocked down this time. Then it was Brian Flannery who lost the stick. Again, they wait on somebody to come forward. Clem's split this time, and Clem has put it over the bar. And Clem raises his arms to the Limerick crowd and says, "Come on, get behind us." It's his first point. Now playing at midfield. Limerick with 15 players, Waterford with 14. It's 114 to 111. And the real excitement of the Munster Hurling Championship beginning this afternoon. Brendan Landers with the puck out. Jack Foley there, beaten by Dan Shanahan, stepping away from trouble, 45 metres out. making inroads, stopped. Jack Foley tries to get it out. Billy O'Sullivan tries to get it in. Wonderful excitement at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Gary Kirby can't take it up onto the stick and curses his luck. It'll be Waterford's sideline ball. Well, Eamon Cregan's team really getting a lifeline with that goal by Mike Houlihan. The strain evident on the face of Peter Queally. Just getting it as far there as Stephen Frampton. Kieran Carey back there helping out his defence, but he's beaten for it by Paul Flynn. Mishit it somewhat. There's a little touch by Brian Geary, I think, and it falls down to Stephen McDonough. TJ Ryan trying to get into the match, watching Ken McGrath carry it forward for Waterford, looking for another score, batted out there by Joe Quaid. Micheál White's chasing it after it. Brian Begley's trying to get it away, trying to keep him away from goal. Stalemate. White getting it up there. 11 minutes left. 3 points the margin. Micheál swinging it, but he's swung it almost into the Atlantic Pond, which is just behind the Blackrock end of Páirc Uí Chaoimh. It's going to be a tense but exciting last 10 minutes, I'm sure. Well, he's a little happier. Limerick fans, I know, felt they might spring a surprise. Barry Foley setting off. Peter Queally trying to hook him, trying to dispossess him. One-handed forward into the inside forward line. It beats them all, and Mike Houlihan didn't really have a chance. Brendan Landers back there urging his team, and Houlihan just wondering why that pass wasn't inch perfect, but that was because of the persistence of Peter Queally trying to deny Barry Foley access to that goal area. A huge one from Brendan Landers towards Ken McGrath. Still Ken McGrath. TJ Ryan chases after him, 45 metres out. Ken McGrath puts it between the posts and manages to settle down this Waterford team, supported by young and old alike. 4 points for Ken McGrath, 3 of them coming in the first half, but this was a valuable and vital point just when it looked like Limerick were getting an edge. Clem Smith trying to take the ball up onto his stick. Well, the pitch is going to come in for severe criticism, I know, and bear in mind there's a major match, another major match here again next Sunday, which is live on the Sunday game, and that, of course, Clare, the champions of Munster, versus Tipperary, the league champions. Clem Smith there, making his championship debut, one of 3 on the Limerick team. Thrown in and won there by Anthony Kerwin. Comes back to Ollie Moran. Fed inside towards Mike Houlihan again. Can he get another score? Sean Cullinan struggling against him. Houlihan unable to take the ball cleanly up into his stick, breaks it inside. Kirby was trying to get it, and it's a great shot, but it's just gone to the left. Oh, real goal possibilities there for Mike Houlihan. It looked like it could have ended up in the bottom left-hand corner, and they're urging their team on still. 9 minutes to play. This was the opportunity. Back from Gary Kirby to Mike Houlihan. Oof, that was extremely close. It's anybody's match. That was Barry Foley back there trying to take it up. Got 2 tremendously talented and game teams giving of their very best, putting behind them the disappointment of their respective league campaigns, trying to stay in the Munster Championship, trying to advance. Tony Brown, off the stick of Dave Clark, back down to Ken McGrath. Didn't hit it as well as he might. Kieran Carey back there. Up towards Gary Kirby, like old times. Stephen Frampton across here. Tony Brown beautifully taken up, aware that he was going to be hooked by Gary Kirby, batting it forward. Ken McGrath touches it down. Jack Foley with dashing skill and style coming in here to take it. Crossing his own 65-metre line. That's Mark Foley. That's a huge one. Where's it going to end up? It ends up over the bar. That's where. Mark Foley expressing himself more and more since he's moved out the field. He's now playing on the 40, marked by Stephen Frampton, and it was made for him by Jack Foley's wonderful run forward and the Foley family combine. And now it's a margin of 3 points. 115, 112. And here they come again. TJ Ryan for Limerick. And this has gone to the right. Disappointment for TJ and for the fans. 7 minutes left. Ooh, it's tense. Everybody taking the opportunity to draw breath somewhat. The coaches on the sideline urging their teams forward. One last big push. Brown against Jack Foley. Kieran Carey. Still Carey towards Mark Foley. Just about keeps it in, and MacDonald, the linesman here, Johnny MacDonald, a right good view of it. And it was a very good call on his part because the ball had not gone out over the sideline. It was on the line, but not over it. And it results now in a Limerick free. Secretary Jimmy Hartigan there on the sideline watching as the evergreen man here, Gary Kirby, takes the free and just puts it over the crossbar. Judged brilliantly. 3 points for Gary. That's 3 points from 3 chances. And Limerick fans believe that they are turning the tide. Remember, Waterford have been down to 14 men since the 15th minute of the second half when Brian Green was sent off for 2 yellow cards. Here's Billy O'Sullivan. Lobbed in here towards Dan Shanahan. There was a jersey pulled there by Micheál White. Brian Begley trying to get the better of the duel there. Steve McDonough. Waterford with a man over. Inside towards Kerwin. Brilliantly denied there. But it comes back once again to Micheál White. Still they chase after it. It was Ollie Moore who got across to rescue Limerick at that vital time just moments ago there. And now Limerick have got themselves a free out. And Declan Nash is just coming into the team here for Limerick. Declan, one of the most experienced. He's still not been able to give the little piece of paper to the referee, so he's got to move off again. Nash coming in for his 24th championship match as that is hit to the right-hand side there by Paul Flynn. Brian Begley with the clearance. Declan Nash not yet in the match. Tony Brown trying to scramble it forward. Limerick defending. Dave Clark. Again, they try to make headway. TJ Ryan has been pulled back there by Stephen Frampton, and now there's an opportunity to make the change. As a yellow card for Stephen Frampton. So time for change, and an extra defender going in there. Declan Nash going in, and the player coming off. I just wonder if the player coming off is James Moran. Lots of frantic screaming and shouting from the sideline. Mentors trying to call out instructions. Gary Kirby composing himself and striking it between the posts once again for his 4th point since coming on as a second half sub for Limerick. Limerick gaining momentum and now within a point. And indeed it's James Moran who's gone off to be replaced by Declan Nash. And there's also a Waterford change, and I've noticed that going in there is Barry Brown. So 2 Browns now playing in the Waterford team, and Micheál White has gone off. That's James Moran, and that is the man coming off there. So Micheál White off, and yet another member of the Brown clan playing in there in the colours of Waterford. It's a championship debut, incidentally, for Barry Brown. Now, Ken McGrath. Declan Nash after him. Trying to stop his progress. Still Ken McGrath. He's fouled. It's a free in. Limerick look a bit deflated. They're asking the questions. They managed to get within a point. And there are, let me see, 2.5 minutes left. So it's now going to be Paul Flynn to hit this free. He'll tap it over the bar, and as high as it possibly could be, over the bar, over the crowd and out of the ground. But it counts as a Waterford score at a critical time, just as Limerick had begun to edge their way back and almost snatch the lead. So now, who's going to take this particular championship win? That's the captain, Brian Flannery. Won an All-Ireland Under-21 match in the colours of Tipperary against Kilkenny a few years ago. Disappointment for Mark Foley. 2 minutes left. This free to be taken by Stephen Frampton. Nicely hit. In towards Paul Flynn. Broken down. That was Billy O'Sullivan. That's Clem Smith trying to get the ball out. Brian Begley there as well. This is Brian Geary, two of the debut men this afternoon in the championship. Only 2 points between them. There's still time, a minute left. Limerick needing something from this attack, and they get absolutely nothing because of the very good work of Dan Shanahan tracking back. Frustration for Eamon Cregan. Well, this will really test the hearts of the mentors down there, the fans as well. Hope you're enjoying it. Kieran Carey, he's fouled, it's a free in. Pulled back. Free on that 45-metre line. Michael Fitzgerald there from the Limerick County Board. James Moran sitting down there, no further contribution to make this afternoon. And Gary Kirby getting the instruction there from Eamon Cregan. Will he lob it in? Will they try and go for a goal? They're doing just that. It's to Dave Clark. He strikes it and he's put it over the bar. Only a point in it. We're in injury time. It's been a wonderful championship tie in this Guinness Munster Hurling Championship. No time to rest for either team, however. A semi-final coming up in a fortnight's time. Will it be Gerald's team? Will it be Eamon's? Limerick or Waterford to progress? A point between them. Into the centre, Ollie Moran. Here's Paul Flynn. Beautiful take-up. Stepped out over the sideline, and it's going to be a line ball. His feet may have been out, the ball was in, the linesman was right alongside it. And now it's Gerald McCarthy giving the instructions to the striker of the line ball, who'll be Tony Brown. Three-quarters of a minute of injury time has been played. Waterford with only 14 men, Limerick with 15. And that for the last 20, nearly 21 minutes. Tony Brown strikes it beautifully. Opportunities presenting themselves. Billy O'Sullivan's in there, Kerwin's there as well. And in the end it's Ollie Moran just wants to get that ball out. Dave Clark who got the last point. Not a long clearance, however. Anthony Kerwin trying to bottle him up. Comes back towards Brown once again, and that's gone to the left. First chance of a score there for Barry Brown. It's very quickly put out by Joe Quaid. It's brilliantly caught there, and it's all over. The final catch by Peter Queally, signalling the entry of the coaches, the backroom team, the substitutes from Waterford. They had a big test this afternoon, made more difficult with the dismissal of Brian Green. In Paul Flynn, they had a man who got a goal in 8 points. A brilliant display also by Ken McGrath. 4 points in the match, all from play. But full credit to two wonderful teams for giving us an afternoon of excitement. And the Waterford fans will go home the happier. Their side now progressing to the Munster semi-final against Cork in Thurles in 14 days' time. It's been a big test for the Dacia men to see could they make progress. They created just 25 chances against 30 for Limerick, but they still won. And at Porky Queeve this afternoon, the final score reads Waterford 116, Limerick 115. It was a wonderful match. Let's go down to Kieran Mullooly.
Gerald McCarthy, the Waterford manager, what an incredible second half.
It was a great second half, great comeback by Limerick, I suppose we did have it all to do when we lost Craig Green. You know, it's part of the new rules, and we couldn't quibble too much about that. Certainly it was a great second half, and we needed that cushion that we had at half-time.
Limerick certainly made use of the man for a long time, but every time they got a score, your lads seemed to come back and get that point.
I think that was the key to it, really. We did get back very strongly at certain points of the second half when they threatened to overwhelm us. We came back, got a nice point again.
Incredible game. How do you prepare for a next match after that?
Oh, well, I tell you, that is the best preparation you can ever possibly get for the next match.
Sir McCarthy, congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, one more.
Yes, it was an absolutely wonderful occasion here. A huge crowd at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. They've enjoyed it, those who came from Waterford. Our commiserations to those from Limerick. Their team gave their all, but not quite good enough this afternoon. It's 116 to 115 the final score after Waterford led at half-time by 5 points. Waterford go through to play Cork in the Guinness Munster Championship semi-final.
Yes, well, we were always expecting a good game from this one, and it certainly did not disappoint us. A fabulous win for Waterford, but I suppose to lose any championship match by a single point is a heartbreak in itself, Cyril Farrell.
Yeah, it's great to be back, like championship hurling. That's what it's all about. Like, you know, you'll be looking at television there, other sports, and lads lying down, and you know, getting lads taking 10 minutes to get up. It's back there again, and there was no lying down. It was a fantastic game of hurling. Tough look on Limerick. They came back from the dead. When they look over the full tape, they probably have to realise that it was in the first half they missed the easy scores. Waterford, as Gerald said there on an interview, fantastic preparation for the Cork game, and it's going to take some team to stop them now. They're on a roll from last year, and you know, you can feel the whole thing swelling up inside them. They hurl with great pride. And like as Tomas saying before we started, like that McGrath had to do it yet for Waterford today. Like, you know, these guys are starting to do it, and they're starting really to become household names.
In the statistics, Tomas, from the first half, Limerick had 6 wides. I made the point then that some of those could be costly, and indeed they were. 1 or 2 of those, and they'd won the match, certainly drawn it.
Well, yeah, when you look back at it over the 70 minutes, and even in the second half period there, TJ Ryan had a very bad miss when he came on the field to play as well, you know. So they look at the wides that they had over the 70 minutes and say they could have won this match. But I think overall, I think Waterford deserved their victory. I think they performed better hurling-wise. They were sharper to the breaking ball, and they had some very good performers. And the likes of Peter Quilly, half-back, who did a tremendous game all the way through the 70 minutes. And they'll go on to the next day, and as John McCarthy said, that's the best preparation that you could ever get, go into a Munster Championship semi-final against Cork.
All right, gentlemen, well, we'll have more analysis from that match. Plus, we'll be naming our man of the match from the game after this commercial break.
Stores brings you triple points on all your grocery shopping all this week with Dunnes Stores Value Club. Plus better value prices like tender cut Irish round roast, only $1.99 a pound. 6 part bone chicken breast, only $4.99, save $1.40. Save £3 on St Bernard ham fillet. And refreshing St Bernard 2-litre cola, buy 1 get 1 free. Yes, it's triple points on grocery all this week only with